All right, today we're cracking open the code that's building a bridge between two completely different financial universes. You've got the wild open world of blockchain on one side and the buttoned up multi-trillion-dollar world of traditional finance on the other. And this isn't just some small step, believe me. It's a massive leap that could completely redefine how we own, well, just about everything. I want you to picture this. Forget just visiting the Empire State Building. Imagine owning a tiny, tradable piece of it. And I don't mean buying a stock in some company that owns it. I mean a direct, digital claim to the actual bricks and mortar, all represented by a little token in your digital wallet. That's the revolutionary promise we're talking about here. But you know, that incredible dream immediately slams into a multi-trillion-dollar reality check. How on earth do you trade that digital slice of a skyscraper on a global, open blockchain without setting off every single regulatory alarm bell in the book? That's the huge compliance puzzle we're going to unlock today. And the reason everyone is racing to solve this puzzle, it really just comes down to one thing: the absolutely massive scale of the opportunity. We are talking about bringing the entire world of physical and traditional assets onto the blockchain. So, what exactly are these real-world assets, or RWAs, as you'll hear them called? It's actually pretty simple. You take a real-world thing, like your house, a bar of gold, shares in a company, and you create a kind of digital twin for it. It's a unique token that lives on the blockchain and proves you own it. So just how big is this market we're talking about? Get ready for this. $300 trillion. That is the mind-boggling value of all the assets out there that could, in theory, be turned into tokens. This isn't just another little tech trend. It's one of the biggest economic shifts you can possibly imagine. Okay, but there's a huge wall standing between that $300 trillion prize and the blockchain. And that wall is built out of 100 years of financial rules. This is the compliance conundrum. And right at the heart of this problem are two acronyms that basically run the entire financial world: KYC and AML. That's Know Your Customer and Anti-Money Laundering. These are the absolute, non-negotiable rules that say financial institutions have to know who they're dealing with to stop things like fraud or, terrorism financing. And this is where you can really see the two worlds just collide. On one side, you have the classic crypto way of doing things. It's anonymous, it's permissionless, it's open to anybody. But on the other side, you've got institutional finance. Every identity is verified, every transfer is regulated, and everything requires approval. They're like philosophical opposites. You just can't let a token representing a share of Apple get sent to some completely anonymous wallet. Regulators would have an absolute field day. So how do you fix this? How do you bridge that gap? How do you invite these big institutions into crypto without totally destroying what makes crypto unique in the first place? Well, the solution is actually pretty cool. You build a digital bouncer right into the token itself. And some new tech on the Solana blockchain is what makes this all possible. This technology is called token extensions. The best way to think about it is that it gives a normal token superpowers. It lets developers bake these complex, compliance-ready rules right into the DNA of the digital asset. And the real star of the show here is a specific extension called a transfer hook. This is our digital bouncer. It's basically a little piece of code that acts like a checkpoint. It automatically stops any attempt to move the token and forces it to check in with a rulebook before it can go anywhere. Okay, so let's walk through it. Say you try to send your token to someone. Instantly, the transfer hook, our bouncer, stops the transaction right at the door. It then runs a quick ID check, calling another program to make sure that both you and the person you're sending it to are on the pre-approved guest list. If you both check out, the velvet rope is lifted, the transfer goes through. If not, access denied. The transaction is blocked right there. It's really as simple as that. I mean, the difference this makes is just night and day. You go from this financial free-for-all where anyone can send to anyone with zero questions asked to this carefully controlled system where every single transaction is checked, making sure that these valuable assets only move between approved, fully vetted people. Now, as you can probably imagine, building this compliance engine from scratch for every single asset would be a total nightmare. And that's exactly why developers have packaged all of it into a ready-made toolkit, the Solana KYC Compliance SDK. So what on earth is an SDK? It stands for Software Development Kit, but honestly, a much better way to think of it is like a pre-packaged box of Legos. It gives developers all the special pieces they need to build something cool for a specific platform, and it saves them a ton of time and effort. So what's inside this particular box? Well, it's got three key things. First, you've got the on-chain program. That's the actual bouncer logic that lives and runs on the blockchain. Second, there are tools for developers to easily connect that bouncer to their websites and apps. And third, you get the tools to manage the compliance registry. That's the official on-chain guest list that the bouncer checks against. It's the whole shebang. So, you've got the digital bouncer, you've got the toolkit. This is where it all comes together. Because we're not just talking about some clever bit of code anymore, we're talking about a key that could unlock a completely new future for both finance and the very idea of ownership. When you get right down to it, this technology is the missing piece of the puzzle. This is that secure, regulated bridge that big financial players have been waiting for, the thing that gives them the confidence to finally step into the world of blockchain.
So why should you really care about any of this? Well, it boils down to three really big things. First, security. It means your valuable digital assets can't just be sent to a criminal or some sanctioned wallet by mistake. Second, compliance. This gives the big regulated institutions the green light they've needed to finally start building on public blockchains. And third, accessibility. This lets us digitally slice up massive assets like stadiums or famous art collections into tiny pieces, unlocking brand new investment opportunities for millions of people.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. The technical bridge is being built as we speak. So what happens to our world when every single asset, from skyscrapers and stocks to fine art and even carbon credits, becomes a liquid, globally tradable digital token? It's not just finance that's about to change, it's the very definition of ownership itself.